What's up, everybody? Well, the lighting didn't look too great. Let's fix that, shall we? What's up, everybody? This is a video that someone asked me to do a while back, and I've been procrastinating on, so I figured I would get to it. And their question based on a video that I did, I think it was actually a video that I posted of Henry Sledge's reacts to HBO's Pacific. But someone asked me how to fold the World War II Marine Corps poncho and affix it to the Marine Corps haversack. You might be greatly disappointed with the simplicity of this, but hold tight, let's get into it. Okay, so in order to do this right, we're going to pull out Mr. Private First Class Fagan GR's, I believe it's a 1943 Boit. Yep, 1943 USMC. So this is an original issue haversack. This has what I refer to as the fold over flaps. Now, if you don't know, throughout the war they made different versions of the haversack, and most of them stayed the same until later in the war, when they were more concerned with preserving material and speeding up production. And so then they switched to this guy, which I affectionately refer to as the potato sack, because that's basically what it is. They didn't take the time to put in the flaps to do this nice cut. You know, you got these nice fold over flaps. This guy is literally just an open potato sack. Okay. This was issued in 1945, so at the end of the war, beginning of the end of the war. This is also a Boit, 1945. This was issued. They both have the front entrenching tool flap, entrenching tool, top flap for your gear, same side flap for your bayonet, but they literally just folded it over. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know if they did this per se to save on material, or if they found that it actually keeps your gear inside drier, because now, you know, the whole inside actually folds over, thus providing more protection from sand, moisture, dirt, and what have you, opposed to not having that. So hypothetically, this may be a more effective way to protect the insides. It just makes for a less appealing pack, but we'll get to that momentarily. So the actual question I had on YouTube was how to attach the USMC poncho to the haversack. And once again, this is a original. This is a 1944. This is my poncho. This is the one I kept. I've had two of them. I sold the other one after I did a video on how to make them soft and pliable again, which we'll put down in the description. But first things first, let me fold this guy up. And one of the things I do is you have the neck right here, right? Obviously with the neck you're going to have shoulders. So if this is the neck, these will be the shoulders. And there's a seam where the shoulders are. So what I do is I literally do like a quarter fold, then another half fold, and then another half fold. Flip it over. Now we have our square. Not come across any field manuals on how to properly fold it. This is the best way I have found to get the fit in my haversack. Next, you slide it in, because according to the field manual, the poncho doubles as a back pad. And so now we're going to load the appropriate contents into our haversack. Now, along with the poncho, this is what goes in the top. Granted, I'm missing 4 cans of sea rations, and I think another box. I'm missing a few rolls of toilet paper and a pair of socks. But I have my mess kit. I got an undershirt, a pair of underwear, and a couple items here. Like I said, I'm missing a few items, but you guys will get the point. So once again, you got your can. Now obviously, I would usually take a bandana some piece of cloth to wrap the forks, the spoon, and the knife, so you don't hear all that while you're marching. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to worry about that. You got your can, your t-shirt and underwear, our K-ration, and our packs of food. Slide all that in there. Close this guy up. And there you have it. All right. Now let me show you something that I've discovered. I don't know if this is how the Marine Corps does it. I haven't seen any documentation on it. I have read that the Marine Corps hates Flappy bits. They actually have a term for this. I'll let you know what that term is later. Let me show you how I figured out a better way of doing this so you don't have the straps hanging out. I actually take straps, right? And I'll actually go in the front notch first. So I'm actually going in through the front. And then I will go through the back notch, right? And I'll actually pull it behind it. So I'll cinch it backwards, essentially, so that once I'm done, you don't have those flaps hanging out because they're behind it. Now obviously out in the field in combat situation, may take a little longer, slow you down to get into your pack, so obviously probably not the way to do it. But like if you're at a museum, you're doing a living history event and you're just walking around, I like to do it that way so you don't see them. And same thing with the E-tool. Actually go inside and wrap that guy around so that once your E-tool is on there, it's not all flappy. Same thing with my bedroll tie. When I don't have the bedroll on there, I'll actually do it like that, so you don't have those ugly flappy straps flapping all over the place. And so technically, that is the official way that the poncho goes in there. And while we're doing this, let me go ahead and show you the full system here. Now for the demonstration on the knapsack, they call it, or the bottom part of the pack, we've got a pair of boots, a pair of trousers, undershirt, 2 pairs of skivvies, but I'm missing 2 shirts and I think a pair of socks. But regardless, you guys will get the idea on this. So now we're going to take our P42s, put them in the bottom here. Take our boondockers, put them in the bottom here. It's crazy to think that shirts and socks are supposed to fit in this as well. So that's what they're designed to do. So let's see if we can get this to fit. Now I'm sure someone will say there's supposed to be service boots going in here, but we're using boondockers. So now we have our knapsack and our top. We'll take the bottom strap, we're going to take the strap of our knapsack, they called it. We'll feed it through the bottom here. Run it up the side, go through this upper clasp, come down here, run it through the side hook. So as we said, the strap goes up through this metal clasp, through the rings, through this metal clasp, down to the side, and now we have the upper and the lower attached. Take our bayonet, attach it, like so. Take our E-tool, attach it like so. So now you got your bayonet, your E-tool, the top section, and the knapsack. Next goes the shelter half. I think I'm going to save the shelter half for a second video, but I want to get back to this person's question. He asked me how to affix the poncho to the haversack, and I showed you the technical way of doing it, but I have a feeling he has a few other ideas on how maybe it should go. And one of them you've seen in the HBO's miniseries The Pacific, and you may have seen it in one or two actual photos, but I have found it's not truly a correct way of doing it, and it's not a very useful way of doing it, and I'll explain that later. But let's get to that. So what we're going to do is take your haversack and simply just put it right there. Now obviously this works better if you have more crap tucked in your haversack, because in this hypothetical situation, maybe your pack is full. Okay, so now we have a full bag, right? So we'll take our poncho, our correctly folded poncho. We're literally going to stick it on top, take the strap, take our strap, pull it, take our strap, pull it, cinch it down, and pull it, and you have what we refer to as the reenactor's version of how to equip your haversack. This is not a good idea. Kind of looks cool, I guess. It's how you see Robert Leckie do it in the miniseries. But the problem I've had doing this when I didn't know anything better, the first Marine Corps event I did, it was a tactical. What happens is after a while, as you run and move, if your pack's not super full, this guy will actually start jostling its way out the side. Now actually, this pack is really full. You can see how it's bent over like that. So it's really hard to do on this one, but when I did it, my pack wasn't super full, and my poncho started sliding out the side. And you can see in this candid shot that you can see my poncho was hanging out the side. Now, as kind of cool as it looks, it is inaccurate. But let me show you one other thing. Let's look at this photo of Robert Leckie doing this in the HBO miniseries The Pacific. Now, what you're seeing in the HBO's miniseries The Pacific is actually this guy. And this is what Robert Leckie has. And you see this little side pouch here. And you think to yourself, wait a minute, that don't look like a Marine Corps haversack. That looks like a airborne infantry musette bag. And essentially you're correct. This is essentially a musette bag, but the difference is right here. This is actually made by Boyd. This was made for the Marine Corps. And yes, you're correct, it does have the same fit and finish that the infantry and the airborne musette bags had. It has the same interior, same cut. It might be a little bigger, but you can see it does say USMC. This is a Boit. This is Boit 1944. It says right here. It does have the same dividers in it that the Army Musette bag has, but the biggest difference is, and this is what's called an officer bag. The biggest difference versus the infantry and airborne are these straps. And what turns this into a bag is this guy right here. This detaches, and now you can sling it over your shoulder and use it as a pack. And so in the mini-series, when you see Lecky having his poncho tucked under his flap, he doesn't have it in the Marine Corps 782 series Haversack. He has it in the Boit officer bag. And of course, there is a third way of doing this, which is more similar to how you would do a shelter half. Once again, I don't know about the authenticity of it, but you do see living historians do it. And I think you may have seen it in the Pacific once or twice. We'll cover that in part 2 of this video. Thanks for hanging out with us. Please like, subscribe, share us with a friend. And if you haven't done so yet, please check out the What's the Scuttlebutt podcast over WTSPWorldWar2.com or wherever your favorite fine podcasts are found. Until next time, thanks for hanging out. See you then.
This has been a Digital 410 production.